Thanks, good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here. We're going to be talking about how AI can be applied to industry-specific, domain-specific challenges, how LLMs, AI agents, and RAG can be customized to industry, and it's a real pleasure to be on the stage here with Jakob Dekker from Festo.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm responsible for our digital products and our AI innovation projects. And indeed, it is always a pleasure to work together with startups and to bring projects into real life in basically no time.
And it's really what we're going to talk about. This is the success story of how European AI startups can work together with European innovation champions like Festo. It's really great to do that kind of work, but it's also really great to meet people who have a very similar first name, just in a different European variant. We were fortunate in this project to be able to help Festo to get from prototype to production faster. That's kind of the main thing. A lot of people are experimenting with AI, but get stuck in the prototyping phase, and we are able to move beyond that. So you probably heard of Festo because they have the coolest booth on the fair. The clicker is not working. Oh, there it is. But you might not have heard about Zeta Alpha yet. So we are an AI startup. We have been building a platform connecting people and knowledge using AI in Amsterdam, 1 foot in San Francisco, and generally expertise of knowledge and R&D intensive companies like the ones here at the Hannover Messe to turn their own proprietary know-how and expertise into generative AI capabilities. And next is Festo.
Yeah, 2 words about Festo. Festo is an automation solution provider, which means we provide everything and all the components that are needed to put processes into motion. We do that with electric automation, pneumatic automation, but also with software and AI solutions and solutions for technical education for lifelong learning to empower our customers to actually use these new tools that we develop so they have the maximum productivity within their processes. And one thing that is special about Festo is its huge booth on Hannover Fair, but it's also the sheer amount of products that we offer. We have more than 40,000 catalog products, which have a lot of variants. So we are talking about billions and trillions of possible configurations. And we wondered, how do we get this information to our customers? How can we supply them with the right information so they can deal with the complexity of our portfolio? And large language models are great for that. But normally, they don't have internal knowledge. So what happens is a user is querying LLM and it gets a response with all the information the LLM has. But it doesn't have, so if you just go to chatgpt.com or whatever, it doesn't have Festo-specific information. And therefore, we partnered with Zeta Alpha and we found a way, a RAG process, which Jakob will elaborate on how to get our internal content, all the information that we have internally, into the large language model without losing the governance for this information. So it's still within Festo. We can make it public, we can control it, we can govern it, and can create value. And this is what we did together.
So we started about a little more than a year ago. The matchmaking was done through the Munich-based Tech Founders Accelerator program, which brought this challenge together with a startup that could solve it quickly. And we got started, configured our Zeta Alpha platform for Festo with all their internal product information. And this was done rather quickly. And actually, last year at the Hannover Messe, already, Festo was able to demo the first not production version yet of the Festo virtual assistant. So basically you can ask a question and it's answered using generative AI with reference to the specific locations in the documentation where the answer is located.
Yeah, one thing we want to prevent is hallucinating large language models. So we don't want to give our customers the wrong answer. Imagine you are searching for a pneumatic drive that is compatible with the food requirements. We cannot give you the wrong product. So we put a lot of effort into actually mitigating as far as possible this hallucination. And this is enabled, or we empower our customers to also verify the information that we are giving via the large language model, because we're able to link to the exact document where this information is coming from. So as a user, you don't lose the control about the information. You can always verify it.
So let's show how it actually looks in the end product.
Exactly.
We have a little video here.
In the meantime, it looks like that. Feel free to join us on our booth. You can test it there for free. Yeah, of course, for free. It's also on our website, but you can test it there. And you can ask very sophisticated questions. What error am I faced with? How can I solve it? But also, what product do I need for a certain case? You can even ask very complicated questions like, hey, I would like to move an object, a metal object, with a weight of 1 kilogram, 10 centimeters, and I want to do it with an electric actuator. And then, in the back end, the system is challenging all our engineering and sizing tools, and then passing this information on to the large language model, which is making a very comprehensive answer from that. And by that, and then from there, so you directly get possible configurations that are suitable for your demand. You can jump into the sizing project, finalize something, maybe do some adjustments, and then you have a perfect configuration that is ready to use, and a much shorter dimensioning sizing phase for within your engineering process.
So once we had laid the groundwork for this Festo virtual assistant with a very powerful semantic retrieval engine, we had nothing to do in the project anymore. So we said, please give us, Jakob, give us some more use cases. We like a challenge. So besides the technical support, we also did a whole number of other use cases. And in this process, we actually discovered that our platform is a kind of AI agent factory that allows the generative AI and data science team at Festo to actually use our platform to quickly spin up prototypes of different use cases, whether they come from HR or legal requirements or business process management, and then basically take these to production on the same platform in a secure IT environment very quickly. So this is a very quick overview of our platform. So it's an end-to-end enterprise-ready AI and search platform, which ingests the data from all the various data sources like SharePoint and Confluence and GitHub and the many other sources, takes it through a modern AI-based vector processing pipeline with fine-tuned models for the domain. I will talk about that in the next slide, and then allows us and AI team to build agents for different use cases on top of that production-ready infrastructure. Which
maybe if I may add on that, that's a best practice approach. Our research department was doing the same. So we had, before we started working together with Zeta Alpha, we already had that up and running in our research department. And we also figured out that if we want to scale that, we cannot do everything on our own. And I can really encourage everyone to collaborate, because you are so much faster. Having all those 5 use cases up and ready in just 6 months wouldn't have been possible if we would have done everything on our own. Although we know the best practice approach.
So one thing that I just want to skip over pretty quickly, those of you who are familiar with retrieval augmented generation, vector embeddings are a large part of that. And here you see some examples from Festo or even different projects in the chemistry, recruiting, and legal domain. where you see that optimizing these embeddings, fine-tuning them on the customer-specific domain knowledge really makes a big difference to have 2 to 3 times better accuracy in your final LLM-based answers. So modern use cases are often kind of mapped out to this AI agent paradigm, which is really much more than just RAG. It's an orchestration of many different roles and modules, and using external tools, for example, in existing tools at APIs and Festo to get the task done. And it really sounds like RAG is just very simple. Everybody can build a prototype in 5 lines of code. But then you have to think about multiple use cases, tenancy, different file formats, single sign-on, syncing of the data sources, which embedding models do you use, and all these other things, which actually makes the build-it-yourself approach from scratch with open source very attractive in the beginning. But you will have to take care of this baby for the rest of their life with a pretty big team. So let's conclude with some of the lessons learned.
As I already said, partnering, doing open innovation together is key. That includes scientific partners, company partners, and startups. And especially if a corporate with 20,000 people is working together with a startup with
15 people.
I think it's important to adapt the way of how we work. And there we'd like to share some lessons learned, what worked really great for us. And the first thing that might be quite obvious is a single point of contact. Within a corporate, with all these different functions, from legal, purchasing, IT, you have so many contact persons and it's very intransparent for an outsider like a startup. So a facilitator that is creating all the contacts is very valuable.
Thank you for doing that.
Also, to ensure the buy-in of at least one department that is actually going to use that later on is also important. And I really mean a buy-in, also maybe a little bit of money that they have to spend on their own. So we don't want to provide a central budget, because then we don't have the same buy-in from the department. And that was great here, because the team of Festo.com, of the website, was in from the very beginning, and they really also were pushing it. They wanted to have it on their website, and they forced us basically also to success.
Yeah, and that the result of that was that in the Munich-based Accelerator Tech Founders, they had never seen such a fast conversion from a POC to an actual contract with the company.
Then corporate internal marketing, also important. We used our intranet to report on the progress that we have with this, in this collaboration. And that's how we get the other 4 use cases. And that, of course, then made even more marketing. And today, the backend, this rec process of Zeta Alpha, is used in even more projects. And last but not least, and this is something that builds up over time, lean processes. If you have a purchasing process or a legal process that takes 2 months just to file an NDA, you lose traction and you lose the interest of the startups. So having these kind of lean processes, especially for the collaboration of startups, I think this is really big value.
We also learned a ton that our platform is an AI factory, that on-prem installation is super important, customization, and that actually European tech companies of very small size and very big size are perfectly able to work together because of shared values. And last but not least, if you embark on such a journey with a startup, their innovation roadmap becomes your innovation roadmap. So when we launched our deep research agents on company internal data, we were actually able to just deliver it to Festo in a one-day workshop, and that was amazing. So check out our deep research demo at our booth. We're way over there, and thanks for listening.